All right, joined now by Frankie Corrado. Frankie, as Mitch Marner returns this weekend, Auston Matthews did not miss a beat without him. 9 goals, 19 points in the 12 games since he's been out. Sheldon Keefe had them apart in practice today. Do you like Matthews getting the Matthews the Sundin treatment as a star player being asked to carry his own line?
I do like it, Gino, and I like the fact that you bring up Matthews the Sundin because as far as I can remember, Matthews the Sundin never had the premier wingers to play with. He had to do a lot of it himself, which also made his tenure so impressive with Toronto. But now with Mitch Marner coming back into the lineup, not going on Auston Matthews' line, it gives the Leafs an opportunity to spread out some of the talent among the top 3 lines. And Auston Matthews, he's not playing with scrubs, Gino. He's still playing with really good players. Max Domi is a good playmaker. He's been able to facilitate a lot of what Auston Matthews needed while Mitch Marner was out. Tyler Bertuzzi's game has gone to another level. So there's a nice element on that line where if you look at it and say, you don't necessarily need Mitch Marner there, that allows Mitch Marner to play with John Tavares and give you a little more punch on the second line. So yes, I like it. I think Auston Matthews is still going to have more help than Matthews the Sundin ever had in those situations. And if this works, the Leafs will have more depth spread out through their lineup than they've ever had come playoff time.
Going to be really interesting to see how Marner and Matthews respond to this if that's the way they go. Now, Marner returns with the Leafs in a dogfight for playoff position right now. We know the Leafs are going to face one of 3 teams, the Bruins, the Rangers, or the Panthers. None of them is an ideal matchup from Toronto's perspective, but which would be the best case scenario for the Leafs?
Well, the best case scenario is they look after their own backyard and play the way they're supposed to play. But with that being said, the Boston Bruins are not what the Rangers are, and they're not what the Florida Panthers are. And we take a look at the numbers. The Bruins are 23rd in the NHL at giving up high danger chances. The Rangers are 19th. The Florida Panthers are 2nd. The Panthers, when they play at their best, there's not many teams that are going to be able to beat that team. The Rangers are a little more vulnerable off the rush, but so are the Boston Bruins. There's more categories where the Bruins aren't as good defensively compared to the Rangers and the Panthers. A lot of the Bruins' mistakes defensively get masked by the goaltenders who do a really good job there. Gino, it's going to come down to the Leafs and how they play, but if they could get the Boston Bruins, they will have more opportunities in the offensive zone to have their star players hopefully fill the back of the net and beat their opponent.
All right, so if the Bruins are the best case scenario, then which team would be the worst case scenario for the Leafs to face in the opening round?
The worst case scenario has to be the Florida Panthers. When they play at their best, they're very difficult to play against because they're physical, they're in your face, they have a lot of scoring spread throughout their lineup. Their defensemen not only play with a little bit of snarl, Gino, but man, can they move the puck? And the goaltending, as we saw last year, was on full display. A goaltender who can carry you to the Stanley Cup final. The Florida Panthers have been spinning their wheels a little bit recently, but I have a feeling that's mostly due to the fact that they've punched their ticket and they haven't had to play that urgent, desperate hockey that they had to play for so long last year leading into the playoffs. That's one of those teams that as soon as the calendar flips and it's playoff time, they're going to find that extra gear. They're going to find that separating factor that makes them a really good team, and that's not a team I want to see come playoff time.
They better start finding that other gear pretty soon. By the way, according to MoneyPuck.com, the Rangers would be the Leafs' worst possible opponent in the opening round because, according to them, the New York Rangers are currently the Stanley Cup favorites.